The snowstorm hadn't let up in 3 days. The desolate plains of Rither. 9 shimmered under a blanket of ice, hostile to all but the hardiest creatures. Somewhere beneath the jagged cliffs, buried in the mouth of a volcanic vent, the expelled dragon lay curled protectively around a single egg. She was massive, her scales dull from stress, her wings folded like ruined sails. Smoke plumed weakly from her nostrils. Her name was Velithar, and she was alone. The clans had cast her out for birthing, out of season. Dragons of her kind only laid eggs during the twin dawn, not during the long freeze. They called it an abomination. Some whispered it was cursed, but she had felt the pull, the sacred fire of life inside her, and she obeyed it. They stripped her rank, shattered her horns, and left her at the edge of the world to die. But she would not with the egg still warm beneath her chest. Jace Holborn wasn't supposed to be on Rither. 9. He was a station mechanic, not a field scout. But his freighter had caught a meteor shard 2 sectors back, and he barely managed to crash land on the unregistered mining moon. His survival pod plowed into the ice, half his systems fried. The signal beacon? Dead. He'd been walking for hours when he stumbled upon the heat vent, rising steam in the bitter cold. He slid into the rocky hollow with a grunt, thinking maybe, just maybe, he could set up temporary shelter. What he found made him freeze in his tracks. A dragon, enormous, scaled, curled tightly around a glowing, pulsing egg. Her eyes opened slowly, red, tired, burning. Leave. The word wasn't spoken. It thundered in his mind. Jace held up both hands. Easy. I'm not here to fight. The dragon bared her fangs. You are human. Yeah, he said, voice dry. Name's Jace. Mechanic. Ship's busted. Just need heat. Shelter. She stared at him long and hard. Leave. She said again, weaker this time. Jace noticed the blood near her hind leg, dried and frozen. She was injured. And that egg, why was it glowing? He stepped forward. You're wounded. It does not matter. It does if you want to live. Over the next hours, Jace set up a portable heater from the remnants of his emergency pack. He stayed near the edge, close enough to not anger her, but near enough to observe. She didn't kill him. That was progress. He talked while he worked. You know, I fixed a heat core on a Genetian war cruiser once. Thing almost blew up on me. Ever work on a Genetian heat regulator? The dragon remained silent. He tried again the next day. You're leaking blood. It's going to attract predators. Let me patch you up. Why? He blinked. What do you mean, why? I am an exile. My own kind cast me out. My egg unwanted. My life forfeit. Why help me? Jace looked at the egg, its glow fainter now. You're a mother, he said. That's reason enough. It took days. He cleaned her wounds with sterilized foam, stitched torn membranes on her wing. When he touched her, she flinched at first, but didn't stop him. He never asked too many questions. She never offered answers. But each day, the dragon allowed him a little closer. The egg, however, began dimming. One night, as winds howled outside, the dragon trembled. It is dying. Jace leaned closer. The egg. It must hatch. Soon. But the fire inside fades. He studied the surrounding geothermal patterns. Then it hit him. The egg needed more heat, more focus, sustained warmth than her body could provide. I can build something, he said. She didn't answer, but didn't stop him either. For the next 2 days, Jace worked nonstop. He rigged coils from the broken heater, fashioned a heat distribution cradle from his ship's battery cell, and wired it into a geothermic resonance panel. He positioned the egg into the makeshift incubator. It glowed brighter almost immediately. The dragon stared at him. She didn't speak, but a strange, almost foreign warmth seeped from her presence. Gratitude. The egg cracked on the seventh day. It wasn't dramatic. Just a faint sound, a soft tap, like a pebble striking glass. The dragon tensed. Jace held his breath. Then a sliver of light broke through the shell. Another, and another. Finally, the hatchling emerged, slick and shimmering, with tiny wings and glowing blue eyes. It made a sound, not a roar, but a curious, soft chirp. The mother lowered her snout, breathing in her child's scent. She let out a long, rumbling hum that shook the cavern. Jace couldn't look away. "You did it." "We," she said quietly. They stayed together for several days more. The dragon, still weak but healing. The hatchling grew quickly, toddling around with clumsy steps, often bumping into Jace's legs. He would laugh and scratch behind its ears, until it started spitting sparks. That's when the mother growled, and Jace backed off, laughing. Eventually, help came. A patrol ship from the outer rings had picked up the ghost of Jace's failed beacon. They found the cave, the dragon, and prepared their weapons. Jace stepped in front of them. "She's not hostile," he barked. "She's a mother, injured, exiled. She didn't hurt me. She saved my life, and I helped save hers." The soldiers hesitated. Then, from behind him, the hatchling peeked out. One soldier lowered her weapon. "It's beautiful." They didn't take her in chains. They didn't drag her off. Instead, they contacted the Interstellar Fauna Council. They opened a case. Jace testified. Word spread fast. An exiled dragon giving birth in the Forbidden Freeze. And a human who kept her and her child alive. It broke headlines across the system. The clans were forced to answer for their actions. Months later, the dragon was given sanctuary in a protective reserve on a habitable moon. Jace visited often, usually with snacks for the now much larger hatchling. "Still can't believe they kicked you out for being a mother," he muttered once. The dragon snorted. "Tradition blinds even the wise." He chuckled. "Well, if you ever want to break more traditions, I've got an old cargo hauler that could use a dragon-sized co-pilot." She looked at him, her eyes glowing with deep, strange light. "Perhaps." The hatchling curled around his feet again, letting out a spark-filled burp. He grinned. "I'll take that as a yes."